Hey you, it's Jess here and welcome to another day of Planmas. We are almost finished with the last videos, so definitely don't forget to subscribe and hang around because on the 25th I will have a 1 hour and 30 minute sticker and wax melt haul, and there will be a giveaway on this haul, so don't forget to check that out and join the giveaway. Everything will be in the description of the giveaway, so you don't have to watch like the whole video if you don't want to, but I did change a rule this time. This year you have to be subscribed to the channel to enter, but I feel like that just makes sense. I always forgot about that rule for giveaways. But anyway, that's on the 25th. We're finishing up Planmas and rolling in, and we're going to be doing a reading journal flip through of my 2024 reading journal. I did set this up in September, and I've done a few videos on my different setups. So there is a playlist on my channel called Reading Journal 2024 if you want to see some videos of actually working on this journal. But if you just want a flip through, then that's what we're doing today. I've just recently posted, I think it was yesterday, my 2025 reading journal setup. It's over an hour long, and if that wasn't for you and you prefer these kind of talk through flip throughs, keep an eye on my channel because right after Planmas, I will post a similar video to this one. It's about half an hour where I just flip through the 2025 setup and talk you through everything that I did, just like this video. So that's more your thing. Just wait for a couple of days and it should be out. I think I'm just going to put it out on the 26th, get it done with. So if you don't want to have to watch all 1 hour of processing, actually doing the thing, and you just want to see the spreads, or if you watch that video but you want to be able to reference those spreads, you can use that video coming up on the 26th. So Planmas continues well after Planmas. But let's get into this setup. I know I set it up in September, but I've added a lot of, I did a lot of back memory planning of the books that I read. I actually don't find books too hard to remember if I've read them. Even when I've read the most books I've ever read this year. Well, I can't actually tell because I was doing a history PhD and I probably read way more books in those years, but none of them were fiction. They were obviously history books. But I never took count of how many books I read. I could probably check my bibliography of my PhD thesis, which wouldn't even include all of them, but anyway. Maybe I should have done that. Oh well. But anyway, so I started in September, but I was able to keep track of a lot of things because I was still planning and making notes throughout the year, and I remembered a lot of the books I read. But it's been a really great reading year, and I've been really enjoying it. And you'll see how starting my reading journal actually helped me read even more. And I don't mean that in like an unhealthy, quick I must read everything way. It's just more of like, I feel motivated to like really work on this because I enjoy it so much. So I use an A5 notebook therapy journal. It's the White Suzume limited edition. I decided I just really wanted something like, for my first note journal, I just wanted something light and airy and plain, and I've just been feeling white. It's dirty very easily, but I don't really care. It's gonna house both 24 and 2025 because look, I think that's plenty of pages for 2025. So I'm really excited. I've just been loving using this end of this year. So we have the nameplate page, which we have Scribble Prints Co. This journal belongs to. I just printed off these letters myself. I just found a picture on like iStock Free Pics, a free stock image of these letters, and cut them out and printed them myself. I'm pretty sure Andrea of SBC is going to make some letters like this, so I'm excited. And then this is a Kirakira Karakasa sticker. I'll link all the shops down below. Just a really fun vinyl of Kirby drawing, which I thought like added to the whole thing. And then on my first page, I did this 2024 reading journal title page, and I used these stickers from the Korean artist Soup Story. I will link the shop down below where I bought these stickers from, but they haven't gotten any new ones in, And I'm pretty sure this person only sells like in Korea or on Shopee. So I don't know how to buy any more of their stickers except the ones that are on the shop. Which actually, before I put this video up, I'm going to go buy another set of those stickers because I love these. But yeah, so definitely go check out, it's Sticker Gift Store, I think, in the links. And they're labeled as like Anime Girl if you're interested. They're so beautiful. But yeah, I otherwise don't know how to get this artist stickers, but they are online, so as an artist. And then this label, sorry if there's some background noise, I'm going to try and edit it out, but there's a truck down below me. I live like right between a bar, a pharmacy, and a shopping, like a grocery store, and there's always trucks going through here. It's very convenient, but also noisy, so apologies, it's Thursday morning. But this is a Scribble Prints Co header that she sold, and I just colored it in the 2024 reading journal, and I just had a lot of fun. So the first pages I did I used my Tombos as well as Scribble Prints Co stickers for the headers and the like main items, and then I used Marigona Suli stickers to decorate the page. And first I had my yearly goals, which again, I set this up in September, but I had these reading goals in mind at the beginning of the year when I set up my Goodreads tracker. So in 2023, I had 30 books as my goal, and I hit it. In 2022, I had 20 books as my goal, and I hit it. In 2021, I had 10 books as my goal, and I hit it. So I've just been adding 10 books a year, although I think 50, which I'm going to do in 2025, is my limit. I'm going to keep it at 50 from now on and see how it goes. I find it just really fun to see like how much I'm able to read, and yeah, I'm not trying to like hit a lot of marks or read as much in a month. I just think it's fun to see like how much I can read, and especially because I used to read so little, especially after my during my PhD, I couldn't read anything else. So yeah, it's been fun to keep track of that. But I have some manga, I love short stories, I love graphic novels. So I think 50 is doable in that way. But yeah, what I've learned this year with my 40 books is that I love short stories. But anyway, I wanted to read 40 books. I wanted to reread the Stormlight Archive for the 5th book coming out in December, which I did achieve, and I'm currently reading the 5th book. I'm 50% through, and yeah, it's killing me. It's killing me. It's so good. And then number 3 was read more women authors, which I read a few new to me women authors this year, which was really exciting, and I can't wait for more of their works and to try out more women. So, of course, I've been reading Brandon Sanderson, I was reading Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, so I wanted to branch out of the male authors and read more women. Then I have my book tracker, which was my 40 Goodreads goal, just coloring that in, matching the colors of the spread. And I hit 40 in about October, which was very exciting. And I just left it as is. I didn't feel like I needed to continue tracking it. Although I guess that could be fun to like fill out more, but this page was done in October, and it's just nice. Like I don't have to touch it anymore. It's finished. Then, so I used a lot of stickers from Scribble Prints Co because she really inspired me to start this journal. I had tried to start a reading journal at the beginning of 2023, but the only videos I had watched was Plant-Based Bride, and I really enjoy her videos and her journal. But I don't know, I felt like I had to do that whole theme like her through the whole year, and I had to draw it all myself, and since then, I've watched way more videos, way more people, and these stickers have really helped just like spark the imagination for me. So possibly in the future, I could do it without stickers, but yeah, I don't know. And it helped me see that I could do all sorts of different things if I wanted to, which helped really building up this journal. So I have the reading challenge here, and as I said, I started in September, so I wasn't trying to fill this out, but I filled it out pretty well, actually. The ones I tried to fill out was like a J, so I read a short novel, or a short story, it's like 30 pages, called Just Out of Jupiter's Reach. I do actually have books for Q, Z, and Y, but I'm going to save them for next year because why not? It's just too late to start them. But if you want to know about those books, I will link them down below because they're hard. I will list them down below in the description box because they are hard to find. But I have The Quantum Thief. Actually, I have 2 quantum books, so I'll list them down below if you're they or thing or not. Then I have a Virginia Woolf book called The Years, and I actually really liked Virginia Woolf. I read a couple of hers in university, so. And then Z, I think, I always forget, like, it's Zero Event, I think, and I will be listed down below if you need book ideas for these. I think the Q and Z books are both sci-fi, but if you're interested in sci-fi, there you go. Again, I just use Scribble Prints Co stickers and Tombos, as well as a Soup Story sticker sheet. So this is the everyday reading tally, and it's like a year in pixels. And I asked Andrea of SPC to draw this up for me. And I'm so excited because it's just so easy to have a sticker I can lay down and color in. And yeah, you can really see how my reading changed, especially in September where I started this journal. Although I read a lot in June, which is funny. I feel like actually a lot of people I watched had a big June reading month, maybe because in the Northern Hemisphere it is summer and we're all just reading lots. I don't know. But as you can see in the start of the year, I barely read anything. That's because in March, I changed up my reading habits. I used to only read audiobooks. That's all I could do, and I read it through when I was working. And actually, in a lot of January, February, I was watching gaming streams instead of reading an audiobook while I was working. And I was just reading like some manga. But I always struggled to read physical. I just felt like I couldn't read physical books because they were just so physically consuming for me to read, especially because if I read physical, I usually am in bed before bed, and I flip-flop trying to read them in bed. Anyway, it's a long story. Anyhow, in March, I was trying to read the Dune book because Dune Part 2 came out. I'm like, finally, I just want to read Dune, and I had the physical book, and it just wasn't working for me, and Locke was like, well, I have it on Kindle. Because my partner bought a Kindle years ago, because they read a lot. So I was like, okay, I'll try the Kindle out. And I also had to do a thing where I really needed to fix my sleep schedule. So I was leaving my phone in the living room and I was reading the Kindle in bed. And that's where it really started, like, having a better... It took a while, like, I don't know what happened in May, but yeah, then I started reading the Kindle at night. And now I've read more Kindle books this year than I did audiobooks, which is all I read previously. But I was reading a Kindle book and audiobook at the same time most of the year, like during the day and then during the evening. And yeah, it's been great. And I've actually read a couple of physical books since then, and it's become a lot easier to read them. I think a lot of reading is actually just getting into the practice, getting your body used and your mind used to reading again. It's something you have to practice a lot, which, yeah, so... But of course, September rolls around and I'm much more motivated. So I have 29 days for September, October, and November. October would have been full 31 days if it not for my trip to London. So these 2 empty days are the nights that I was in London, and we were kind of just watching TV and then falling asleep after our long days in London. So yeah, but I did read on the plane on the other days. So. Yeah, I missed out on those 2 days in October because I was traveling, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm keeping up with December, and I've just been coloring them in the same color that I put my header. So, I don't know, just nothing special there, just counting the days. And the black dots are supposed to be where I finished books, but I couldn't remember the beginning of the month where I finished books. Then I have a spread for my 2023 reads because I had... tried to start reading journaling that year, but I gave up after 1 page. So I was like, you know what? I want to display the books that I read in 2023. I just have these headers from Scribble Prints Co, and these are little Korean stickers. This page is a little meh to me because this blue tombow is so light. I know. I'm not happy with this spread, but I will live with it. I think I just needed to use a darker blue, but I only had this blue at the time. But yeah, these are the 32 books I think that I read. I think it's 32, something like that I read in 2023. A lot of great stuff in here. It was Brandon Sanderson's year of secret projects, and I was really getting into The Expanse at the end of the year, and I was reading some graphic novels. Oh, and one of my favorite trilogies of all time, I read the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, the Broken Earth trilogy. Love, 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 love. Was this year. But everything was kind of random, as you can see, so I really I was still, these are graphic novels and mangas, so they're pretty short and easy to read, so I was still working up on reading, especially because, if it wasn't a graphic novel, everything else was audiobook in here. Just saying. So, except for the novellas as well, so not too bad for an audiobook only year. Then I did a 2024 book log. Again, we have Marigona Suli and Scribble Prints Co. And I just wanted a list of all the books that I read this year so I could just write them in and put my star rating. I recreated this spread for 2025, but I added putting in what number book it is and also what date I finish it, because I can't really tell how many books this is. Technically, I think it's 52. So, yeah. But I was just writing down the list of the books that I was reading as I read them. Pretty easy book log. And then we have some series tracker stuff. So I have this little series tracker here using Scribble Prints Co stickers and Soup Story. And a lot of this is filled in. I finished all of these series this year. So I put them in, and I'm going to be using this page in 2025 as well. So I have some stuff that I'm definitely going to be reading in 2025. I have I have the first book of Library Trilogy and the first book of Bloodsworn Saga, and I have all the books for the other, Lacanius, Great Cities, and Talon in here. So, and I want to buy all the rest of Murderbot Diaries so I can finish that because I loved it. But yeah, so I'm working on those series. I'll probably do a second series tracker page in my 2025. Although I've already set it up, I think I'm just going to do that page by myself and add a few more series that I want to read this year. But then I have some pages for some separate series that I'm also tracking through 2025, and which are big things that I want to track. So I have Marcel Proust, In Search of Lost Time. I finished Swan's Way. It took me a while. This is actually, Swan's Way was the last book I needed to read for my university undergrad degree, because I double majored in history and English, and I never actually finished it. I read the first whole half of it, which was all we needed for our, exam. And it was just very hard to read, because I was reading those as physical books back then. So I actually reread the whole thing last year. Was it 2023 when I reread the whole thing, or was it 2022? Either way, I read all of Swan's Way finally, and now I want to continue on with In Search of Lost Time. It's a big project, I think. These books take a lot of brain power to read, although they're very, very beautiful. And then this is a page that I spread that I didn't film. This I just did by myself. So this is your first time properly seeing it on my channel. But I wanted to do tracking the Cosme with Brandon Sanderson and the Wheel of Time with Robert Jordan. I thought these two went together because the last 3 books of the Wheel of Time are written by Brandon Sanderson after Robert Jordan passed away. And I feel like they're kind of connected in that way. And also because they're both kind of fantasy, big fantasy things. Oh, there's a lot of sci-fi in the Cosmere, but I just thought it'd be fun to have these two together. And the Cosmere, I'm actually pretty close to finishing. I've read Warbreaker this year, and I'm reading Wind of Truth right now. So I have Elantris for next year. I just want to catch up on the last short stories in Arcanum Unbounded, because I read most of them. And then he has another secret project coming out called Isles of the Ember Dark, which is coming out in 2025, so I'll almost be caught up entirely with the Cosmere, which is kind of nuts. And then The Wheel of Time, I actually own all of these books as audiobooks now. I bought them through a sale on Audible. So I'm going to be working through these. I've already read 3, but I think that was in 2022. But I'm going to keep going. I'm planning to read The Shadow Rising in January, especially because the next season of the Wheel of Time TV show, which comes out in March, season 3 is based on The Shadow Rising, so I want to get ahead with the books for the show. But for this, I just used my alphabet stamps, which I got off Amazon, and then I used all these stickers from Scribble Prints Co. Her torn papers in the map, one of the map pages, and then her like medieval fantasy stickers. And I thought this like orange dragon would be perfect up here because it's like the dragon in the Wheel of Time. I don't want to spoil, like, you find out who the dragon is in the first book, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's going to watch the show or read the books. But yeah, it just made me think of the dragon, and then you've got like the archery and the sword and stuff, so I thought that was cute. They're not a literal dragon, it's just the name of the chosen person. They're the dragon. So, I mean, unless they are a literal dragon, I'm only 3 books in. But I don't know. Anyway, those are my long-term ones, again, using those through 2025. Then I have my monthly favorites spread, and I use a lot of these Scribble Prints Co books as well as Marigona Suli stickers. And I'm just printing out my favorite books for each month. Of course, I had to go back and choose these ones. And I have a short Babylon's Ashes. Like, I was reading The Expanse, and every single Expanse book is 5 stars. One of my all-time favorite series. And the TV show is so good. So everything is The Expanse at the beginning of the year. And then I was reading June and not much else in May and June. So I have June, Messiah, and Children of June as my favorites those months, but that's because everything else was like was terrible. I don't know. They're not that good, but they're fine. Those are probably the 2 of the best books of June, other than the first one. And then it's funny because this is all sci-fi, and then we have a whole bunch of fantasy for the second half of the year. So I started reading Martha Wells, which is I read some of her Murderbot diaries in 2023, or was it 2022? Because it's 2023, I think. And I also read Witch King, which I really liked. So I looked into her backlist, and she had a bunch of books called, well, there's a trilogy called The Fall of Illyrian, and then there are 2 prequel books to that. So I read all 5 of those books. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. All 5 of those books in July and August. Really, really good. Enjoyed them. Though I think I enjoyed the prequel books better than the actual trilogy. Obsessed. So really good fantasy. And then I found the Willowing Flame trilogy. In September, The Ninth Reign is the first book by Jen Williams. In September, I read all 3 of those back to back. They were so freaking good. I love them so much. So I've since bought more Jen Williams books. But yeah, I put the first book here because it felt like the most fresh. But the last book, the 3rd book, I gave the highest score to. Then October, I read like 9 books in October, and it was so hard to pick. And I chose a short story, because The Fireborn Blade by Charlotte Bond. Again, another female author. We started very male heavy, and then I switched to trying to work on my goal. And it was really, really good. A really, really good novella about dragon hunting. It was fresh and interesting and twisty-turny and kind of spooky. So it was great. And then November was so hard because I had 4 basically 5-star novels in November. I read 4 banger novels that were so good. But I chose Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie. So going back to sci-fi, but all 4 of them were so good, but the Anne Leckie book just stuck in my brain. It was the most different of it, and it didn't have any parts of it at all that I was like, meh, about. Whereas the others had little meh bits. Whereas this was like, go, go, go. Loved it. And I read that physically, actually, because this is my partner's favorite book of all time, even though they read it like 8 years ago. So we have a hardback 10-year anniversary edition hardcover, so I read that. December, it's probably going to be Wind and Truth, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's my monthly phase. I thought this turned out really cute. I did something completely different for 2025, but the books made it really easy and nice. Then we have some spreads I put together, which I don't know if I'll be doing in the new year, but we have my Dune ones. So I read all 6 of the Frank Herbert Dunes. I decided not to go into his son's books, and I just looked up how they, like, there's plot on the Wikipedia pages, because I was getting tired of it. As you can see, we got 2.5, 3, 3. We were struggling at the end of the series, and what I read in the Wikipedia plots, I was like, no thanks, sorry. But I love how this spread came out. It's just so fun. I used some fan art of Paul Atreides here from the movies, and I just thought it'd be fun to do, I don't know, like this like planet space kind of look. But yeah, so I enjoyed the first half. I would say reading the first 3 is good. God Emperor, it's a lot to sit through. It starts off really cool and ends really cool, and everything in the middle is although there's a lot of people in those reviews who live by this book, and I am worried about them, to be honest. I'm sorry if you also love God Emperor of Dune. I'm sorry. Some of that philosophy in there was really, Anyway, and then Heretics of Dune and Chapter House of Dune got a little bit better because they focused on female characters of the Bene Gesserit, which, you know, now we have the TV show Prophecy, which also focuses on the Bene Gesserit, but they were interesting, but also, again, they're dated. That's all I gotta say. But I'm glad that I read them. I felt like it was a big accomplishment to read all of Dune. I just read them one after the other and got them done. But I will say I like a lot of the changes that of the first book that the movie did. I think it did a lot of good changes, so I'll say that. Then I wanted to celebrate and do a spread of the end of The Expanse that I finished. I finished the last 4 main books, as well as a bunch of the novellas that came in between each book. I don't know why I did the bar stickers, because they're all 5 stars, but yeah, so don't read any of these pages if you want to be spoiled. They have spoilers in them, but I just did a collage that I made on my computer and printed it out, mostly of the TV show characters because I love them. They're perfect. Drama, my baby, baby, baby. I will say the TV show makes Drama 100% better. She's a very, like, minimal character, I feel like, in the books. But obviously they stretch out Drama in the show and really, like, bring her alive. And also one of the other characters, Ashford, he is so good in the show, but he's meh in the books. So I highly recommend both, to be honest. They're both good. But the TV show ends on Babylon's ashes, and then they didn't do the last 3 books because there's actually a 30-year time jump between them. But I will say, the last 3 books are so freaking good. If you've watched the TV show and finish it, just go straight into the last 3 books. It's worth it. They're so good, and there's so much... I'll stop talking about books. Anyway, we're just flipping through the journal, Jess. I'll just say, definitely read those last 3 if you get through The Expanse, because it's so worth it. It's so good. Then I did some spreads for the Martha Wells Illyrian books. We have The Element of Fire. It's cool because these books kind of go through time in this fantasy world of Illyrian. So the first book is very Tudor coded. The second book, Death of the Necromancer, is very Victorian coded, which I really, really enjoyed those. And then the actual trilogy itself, The Fall of Illyrian, is more almost World War I coded, because there's like airships and they're getting attacked, and like it's very blitzy. But there's also a lot of sailing, a lot of water stuff, because there's like a whole lot of traveling to this fantasy island. Well, the whole thing is fantasy, but anyway, so I use this, so these ones I just used pictures off Pinterest. These ones, again, I have Pinterest stuff in here as well as fan art, but then I use this PE tape from Notebook Therapy, which is really pretty. And this is just the first 2 books because in September I read the 3rd book, and that's where I put my review of the 3rd last book. Then I put in my little reread of Stormlight Archive into one page and made a little collage with fan art again. And I just love this so much, especially like every squad got the clinically, anyway, I just love this so much. I'm so attached to these characters, and I'm halfway through the 5th book and I'm dying, but anyway. Yeah, so again, just celebrating reading those books. And then I actually have a weird section here about a video game called Fields of Mystria, and this is my character Jess, and I am romancing Raina. So I put a picture here, and I got some of my animals here. It's a farming game. As you can see, I've got some of my outfits, my farm, my house. At the time that I made this page, it's all changed again, but I found these gift guides on Twitter, and I wanted to print them off and put them in my journal, so when I play the game, I can have the journal next to me, and I can just flip through when I need to give a gift to a character. I have the guide on me because I just don't like having to pull up my other laptop or my phone to be able to find what I want to give them. So I do have the whole gift guide for all the characters in here, right in the middle. But it works for me, and I have been using it, so I guess this took up a lot of pages in my journal, but I'm okay with that. Because it's not just a reading journal, it also has gaming in it. So I did add this page about my character just to celebrate before we put into the gift guide. And then after that, I have just a page of 6 months of my art that I drew and released in the first 6 months of the year, which I was really happy with. I can hear children downstairs and the balcony. Dear me. Okay, I just closed the door. My cat came inside, so I don't have the balcony door open anymore. There's a gaggle of young children in their high-vis tops, so they don't get lost. But anyway, then I had a full TBR, and I think I used Scribble Prints Co stickers for this. And I think it came out pretty well, actually, because I read all but one book during autumn. Granted, yeah, all four of these books was in November, but hey, I read them in autumn. But I've shifted Paladin's Grace to be next year. But I think this page came out super cute, and I love this brown color of Tombow, the saddle brown for the gingham. Then I had a double spread, again, spoilers in the text, of the Rings of Power Season 2. I love the Rings of Power TV show. I'm a big fan. A big Tolkien fan overall, so I was so excited when the show started, and the second season is even better. It was so good, and I had to make a spread for it because I was super excited. We got to see Anatar in all his glory. So yeah, I just did, I set this up, and then every episode as it aired, I would put in my thoughts. I didn't give myself much room for the last 2 episodes, but I got my thoughts in there, and yeah, I really enjoyed the show. Then we have, and I think in 2025, I'll probably do this for the Wheel of Time, just to include some of that. And then we go into the start of my reading journal proper. This is my September spread, and I was just trying out my first kind of thing. So I have Marigona Suli stickers again. I have some Scribble Prints Co washi, and just some ripped paper that I printed off myself. Just a little calendar, a little TBR, which I went over this TBR in September. So, and then I did some simple review pages, just 2 books per page. And yeah, once I read The Ninth Reign, my TBR was kind of a mess because I was well, I have to read the rest of these books. But here's that last book for the Gate of, for the Martha Wells, full of Illyrian. It doesn't get a big fancy page, but that's okay. Then we have The Ninth Rainbow Twins. I finished the Rhythm of War. This is the 4th. Still my archive book this month. Finished up the Winnowing Flame trilogy, and then I read the new James S.A. Corey book, The Mercy of Gods, which was really good. And this is just some fan art that I printed off from the Winnowing Flame. This is probably maybe the Bitter Twins or the Poison Song fan art. But yeah, I will link that. I'll put the Instagram name of this artist down below. But I found this clip of this fan art, and I thought it'd be so cute to put it in here. You have, sort of the main romance that's in the Jen Williams books there. And then we have October, which I did something completely different. I hand drew this whole design. I just got the thought in my head, and yeah, I drew all of these, and I was so proud of myself. I put some Halloween movies in there I wanted to watch. I only watched 3, but that's okay. And then I was doing a Halloween challenge, which you'll see on this page from Scribble Prints Co. And then my TBR, it just grew and grew. I read so much this month, although a lot of them were short stories. But yeah, I was just really in the reading mood this month. So here's the Halloween reading challenge from SVC, and just had these pumpkins. And I just added these book stickers from her, and then some of these bats are from the sheet, and a couple of these stickers are from Simply Gilded. But yeah, so I think I pulled The Glass Hotel and The Poison Song from the last month, basically, because they matched. I read a book at night, I did that. And then a book with witches or magic. There are witches in The Poison Song, so I thought that worked out. But yeah, it was fun to actually read to some prompts, and I just picked books that I owned, and then also I picked up this book, a book published in October, so I picked up a new release to read for that. I didn't love it, but, you know, it was nice. And then I did this page of the extra books that I read in October. Granted, 1, 2, 3 of these are short stories, like they're novellas, so they're pretty, you know, they're pretty small and easy to read. They only took like 2 or 3 nights each. And then Dead Space I read on the plane to and from London. But this is also when I finished my 40 books goal on Goodreads. So I just printed off the little graphic that comes up when you complete it and put it in with some notes, because I thought it'd be fun to include that in my reading journal. And then I just did some a little spread for my London trip using a lot of Scribble Prints Co stickers, these boxes, as well as these deco pieces, and just some of my photos from London. I saw Hadestown and Dr. Strangelove on stage, and went to the galleries mostly. But yeah, it was fun to just put my little London trip in here and add some more to this journal that's not just reading. And then I did my November setup, which I used a lot of stuff that I just printed off from like art and some of my own clip art. I read 7 books in November, which was nice. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What was the 7th one? I don't know. Maybe because I finished some of the... I don't know what 7 books is. Where did 7 come from? Anyway, I guess I did. I can't remember. Anyway, then I just did some small spreads for these books. I don't feel like I need to write too much about them, to be honest. I'm not a huge review writer. But these are the 4 books that absolutely crushed my month. We've got The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. We have Simon Jimenez, The Spear Cuts Through Water, Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie, and Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker. They're all really good. Like, some of them have not full 5 stars, but technically they're 5 stars. But it was hard to pick, and you feel like, well, you gave those 5 stars, but not them, but why did you pick Ancillary Justice? But there are reasons. It's 5 reasons. But I will say, you should read all 4 of these, honestly. The Spear Cuts Through Water is insane and stunning. The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi are so fun. We have a fantasy 12th century, like, it's the Indian Ocean, I guess. It's around Middle East and South Africa. Really, really cool, especially a lot of the Muslim elements of the book I really enjoyed. Warbreaker, a really, really good standalone Brandon Sanderson book. Ancillary Justice, amazing. Amazing sci-fi based on an AI, and a lot of fascism and colonialism in there. It was so good. But anyway, about a space empire, and yeah. Highly recommend all 4 of these books if you're looking for stuff. We have 3 fantasy and 1 sci-fi, so rate them, please. And then lastly, I just wanted to include a short story of like 30 pages. This is Just Out of Jupiter's Reach by Nnedi Okorafor. Again, more women authors. Nnedi, I think. We have Shannon. We have Anne Leckie. So I was happy about that. Yeah, it was a really nice little short story. It's part of an Amazon collection. I think it's called Far Reaches. I definitely want to read more of those in the new year. we've got all of them, but I need to finish up the other ones. But this year I read Just Out of Jupiter's Reach and Void by Veronica Roth, I think. Anyway, they were both fine. But some good ones. I think there's an Anne Leckie book in there, as well as James S. A. Corey, so I need to read those. But I just finished up my same like little theme here. I think this is from, is it The White Queen, when Richard III takes up the crown? Anyway, I won't get into it, but I'm a Richard III stan. I'm all about the Plantagenets. I'm not a Tudor girly, but anyway. Then I did a little spread by myself. I didn't film this, using this Thumbelina print playlist sticker, because in November, Kaaria, who is a pretty big now Finnish artist, came out with his new album. So I wanted to put in the album People's Champion, and I just sort of put my favorite songs in here of the album. This isn't all the songs, but a lot of them. And I found these stickers of him that someone drew on Redbubble. We love Kaaria. He's our Finnish little prince, and he's the people's champion. Anyway, and then his big song is Cha 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 from Eurovision, so I put Cha 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 along the back, and I just thought this spread came out so fun. So I definitely want to do more music spreads in the future. Then we're currently in our December phase. We've got Marigona Suli stickers, and I just drew with my Tombow a lot of stuff in here. Working on some Christmas films. I've read 3 of my books already for December, which is nice. And I'm using the Christmas Reading Challenge from SPC, which are these baubles in the header. Yeah, so I've already read 3 of those books. I'm working on the 4th. And then I'll quickly get through the last 2. I think that's going to be my full, like, I don't know if I'm going to fit any more books into the end of the year. If I finish these before the end of the year, I would just give myself a break and start reading in January. But this is a graphic novel, so it shouldn't take long. But yeah, Wind of Truth is like 1,400 pages, so it's taken a while. Granted, I actually read all of Soulmate Archive on audiobook, but this one I'm reading on Kindle. I know, I just feeling reading it in Kindle, so I'm enjoying that. But yeah, that is what this is looking at like so far. And then I've got a double spread for Wind and Truth. And I think when I finish, I'm going to go through the book. And because the book is kind of separated into 10 days, I won't go into why it's separated into 10 days. It's a 10-day thing. It's a whole thing. So I think I'm going to put like day 1 and put in my notes for each day, and then have like finishing notes here. But I was so proud of how this spread came out. I drew this all myself, and we have Nightblood here, and we have Oathbringer. Yeah, so I wanted to draw like an iconic sword from the thing, and Nightblood is definitely one of them, and so is Oathbringer. So I just thought it'd be fun to do the spread that way. And yeah, I love the way this came out, and I can't wait to fill it in with all of the stuff that I've been reading. It's so good. And then the final page of my 2024 reading journal setup. I didn't do this on camera, so I apologize. I was putting this all together and I completely forgot to film it. But this is my yearly wrap up and my 2024 awards. And I have this book tracker sticker in here from SBC because I have books read and I'm going to put in the book. So I'm at 52 right now, but I should hopefully have like 55 books. So I can put that little book in there, like to mark how many books. So I'm just keeping it there to do that, but we're going to do format, pie chart. I'm going to do pages read, hours read, top 3 genres, average rating, top 3 authors, and best month, which is probably going to be October. That's the stats I'm going to do, which I'm going to get from Storygraph. And then I have my 2024 awards. I just picked some random ones. So I have fave cover, fave friendship, fave series, made me cry, which will be really hard because I'm sure Wind and Truth is going to make me cry hard, but I feel like I cried so hard in one of the Willowing Flame trilogy, The Bitter Twins. I cried badly in that book, so we'll see. Fave couple, fave world, longest book, shortest book, and narration. Like, what did I think? Not audiobook narration, but like the narration of the book, which at this point I'm considering The Spear Cuts Through Water for that because it's so interesting. But anyway, then we have a part here for my book of the year. And I'm going to put my movie of the year here as well. I'm just using this audiobook sticker because I felt like it worked for a movie as well. And it's probably going to be June part 2 that I put in here as my movie of the year. But then we go straight into 2025. So that is my 2024 reading journal. Obviously, it's not finished, but I'm really happy with the way it came out. And I can't wait to start a full year of doing like these monthly spreads. And it was really fun to put other things in here like my gaming and my London trip and Rings of Power. So I can't wait to put Wheel of Time in there. But yeah, so that is everything that I did in my 2024 reading journal. I hope you enjoyed this very long flip through. I thought I'd just give you something good today. All the videos are quite long at the end of this Planmas, but I don't know. If you're wrapping presents or if you're just chilling, try to, relax. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know, did you start reading journaling in 2024? Are you going to start in 2025? Or rather, have you just been reading books and enjoying them? Let me know what your favorite book of this year has been, so far at least, unless you're reading, like, you think you might read one before New Year's Eve. But let me know otherwise what your favorite book was down below. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.